And welcome back, episode 35 of Drop the Green. As always, we'll dedicate this episode to somebody. This week's overview is going to be on short tracks as we head into Martinsville. We'll go ahead and recap Homestead, talk about who stood out, do a little Martinsville predictions, see where we're at on bets, and then we'll close with the Choose Who Zone and where we're watching the race. All right.
That's right.
Good? You like that?
I like it.
All right, perfect.
Good
All right.
show.
As always, my name's Austin.
My name's Spencer.
Let's drop the green. All right, episode 35. This was a little tricky one for me, Spencer.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
You look up 35. Really, nobody ran it. Joey Gase comes up the most. Didn't feel like Joey Gase, and then I got to thinking about it. I saw a picture of a 35 car, and I was like, man, I remember I had the little 164.
The small ones, the Matchbox ones.
Yeah, the Matchbox ones.
Mm-hmm.
I had the 35 Tabasco car, and I really never remembered who drove it, but it was Todd Bodine.
Okay.
So, obviously, I know Todd Bodine. Do not remember him driving that car. It was 1998. But one of my favorite cars I played with, I don't know about you, but I played with cars religiously.
Yeah, I played with the General Lee a lot.
Okay, I bet you did.
So I had a General Lee. And it was like a little bit bigger than these 124s.
Yeah.
And it had 3 buttons on the back of it. And one was like the theme song. So it played Dixie. And then another one played like when they jumped, they like yelled, you know? And then I think another button played like a Roscoe Pico Train saying something.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or Boss Hog, one of them. Yeah.
Well, I had like a million little NASCAR diecasts.
Yeah.
Like I would line them up. Like I'd have a 43 car field.
Yeah.
So, and this was one of them. But like I said, never knew it was Todd Bodine. But February 27th, 1964 in Chimburg, New York.
Chimburg?
I have no idea where that is.
That's got to be upstate.
I think so.
It has to be.
But you want to throw his car up?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. And there's a couple different versions of this car. I feel like there's one that's more orange.
Yeah, there's 3. When I was looking up this picture, there were 3 different ones. Yeah, and I was like, wow. But we just went with the red one.
And I should have dug through. Well, all my cars are not at my house anymore, but maybe I'll next time I'm at Brittany's office, I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
But I remember the little flames on the bottom. It said Tabasco. I feel like mine was orange, but he has a nickname.
Ooh.
The Onion.
Go back to layers.
He's bald.
Oh.
So not the best nickname, but a nickname nonetheless. But he is the youngest brother of Jeff Bodine and Brett Bodine.
Yep.
Obviously, Jeff was the more successful one in the Cup Series, but Todd Bodine came on into the Busch Series in 1986. Ran multiple different rides, kind of here and there. Not really full time very much. But 1998, he gets this 35 car for ISM Racing. So they have a lot of struggles. I don't think they failed to qualify, or maybe they did. You know, back then, like, if you didn't qualify, you went home.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't remember if that was the case or, like, they just had struggles. But he was going to be replaced at a Daytona race. Mm-hmm. This is like 9 or 10 races in. And for some reason, that race got postponed or canceled. And when that happened, they decided to fire him.
Wow.
So, really cool car. I feel like it's a...
Did he lose? Did the sponsor go with him?
I don't think so, because I don't...
Sponsor stayed.
I didn't even look up. I mean, I wasn't too interested in the story, because I think the car's the coolest part.
Yeah, it is.
So, I don't even know who drove the car afterwards or if Tabasco stayed. Really good question I should know the answer to. But he kind of floundered from there. He really, really found his place in the Truck Series.
Okay.
So when Toyota came in 2006 to the Truck Series, he got in a ride with Jermaine in the 30 truck, and if you saw that truck, you'd recognize it too. But was the champion right out of the gate in 2006. Champion again in 2010. from 2006 to 2010, he did not finish worse than 4th in points.
Whoa.
So here's this guy that...
Dude was a dog.
Yeah, just like a truck legend, like a Ron Hornaday, Jack Sprague. You know, this is kind of... He's kind of on that...
Stuart Friesen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But he's kind of on the tail end of those veterans, you know, still being around. Still, it wasn't just a bunch of kids. So now he works at Fox as an analyst, so you'll see him back when we had Race Hub. He was a pit reporter last week.
Was he really?
Not in the Cup Series, but in the Truck Series.
Uh-huh.
I thought he did a terrible job. Like, he's not...
Oh.
It just was weird to see him as a pit reporter for me. But, yeah, still a cool guy. You know, probably helped his last name and his brothers, you know, kind of got him...
Bodine, yeah.
Bodine, that helped. But, you know, it's cool that he made a little niche for himself in the Truck Series. 0 Cup wins, 15 Xfinity wins, 22 truck wins.
Wow.
So 22 truck wins, and that was just in, I think, 11 years. And then he was running truck races... It was either last year or the year before. I think it was the year before last year. He was trying to get to X amount of truck starts, so his old ass climbed in like 3 truck races last year.
Just to say...
Just to get X amount of starts.
Whoa.
Like I think it's like 225 or something crazy like that.
Okay.
Which, you know, they only race, I think, like 25 times a year.
Yeah, so we did. That's a lot of years.
So it's a lot of years, a lot of starts. But, yeah, really more of a cool car than a cool guy.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you got?
Me, I'm going to throw him up while I'm thinking about it. And I know... Oh, my... Here. Boom.
Nice.
Yeah. And I know this car looks familiar.
It does.
But in 1987, Benny Parsons ran the 35 Folgers car for Hendrick Motorsports. So...
Yeah, and we had a little disagreement here.
Yeah, we did.
He said Folgers. I was like, 87, that's Tim Richmond's 25 red Folgers. So I guess he ran the decaf version. I don't know what.
I guess so.
I did not know this existed at all.
It's on there.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here.
It's here.
So educate me.
Yeah. Benny Parsons from Wilkesboro, North Carolina, allegedly.
Why allegedly?
Because it was kind of weird. Like, he was born there, grew up there like early years, and then moved to Detroit.
Okay.
After high school. So I guess he did grow up there, but I don't know.
Okay.
Moved to Detroit to work with his dad, who had a taxi cab company. And while he was working at this taxi cab company, he was at a gas station, and these guys who had a race car loaded up, came by, get gas, and they invited him to the local track there in Detroit that night. And he showed up to come and watch. I guess knew those guys, went down to the pits or whatever, and the driver never showed. Up, so by the end of the night, Benny climbed in the car.
It's like Ricky Bobby?
I couldn't find this story collaborated anywhere else, but it was awesome, so I had to tell it.
I'm going to believe it's 100% true.
Yeah, so 18, 19, you know, straight out of high school probably, went to... allegedly his first race ever, climbs in it. I don't think he raced with anybody. Like, I think like it's the end of the night. The guys that he actually linked up with maybe were not to say good, but maybe they knew the track owner. They let him stay, but he ended up running the car. Apparently got hooked. He ran his first NASCAR race in 1964 for Holman Moody.
Yeah.
Moody?
Yeah, pretty iconic.
Okay. He did that in 64. Only race that he ran, did not finish well. 1968 and 1969, he won the ARCA championship that year. 69, he also ran 4 races with 3 top 10 finishes in those 4 NASCAR races.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive.
That's pretty impressive.
1970 was his first full-time year, and I believe he was kind of because the team name was Benny Parsons Racing. So I guess he was funding it himself.
Owner-operator almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
I figure his dad's taxi cab company maybe helped out with that or something.
Yeah.
But 1970, first full-time year, 23 top 10s, 8th in points that first year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
1971, he signed with DeWitt Racing. And he raced with them from 71 to 78, and he won a championship in 73. Do you know the controversy behind the championship?
In 73?
In 73?
I think the one win he had a relief driver.
Exactly. No. He won one race.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is David Pearson that same year won 11 races.
Oh, okay.
He won 11 races in that year.
Right.
But he only went to 18 events. So Benny got him just because he went to every event.
Okay.
Now, granted, he did pretty well. 23. I think there was 28. Events, 28 races, and so 23 of them he finished in the top 10.
But when Pearson got off the couch, he was whooping them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but that's just crazy. That that a dude won 11 races in a year and finished second in the points to a guy who only won one race that year. So 1979, he signed with MC Anderson Racing to race the number 27. Still pretty decent in points that year. 1980, he finished third in points, and that was kind of his last good year until he got in this ride. He gets in this ride in 87, number 35, and he finished 16th in points, which was a big improvement over the last 7 years. He had finished 28th.
At this point, he would have been what?
Oh, gosh.
He's born in 41, I think we saw. This is 87. So he's 46?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right?
Mid-40s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nuts.
16th. And then after that year, he raced a couple on and off races the next year, and then kind of retired and went into announcer, analyst, pit road reporter, worked for ESPN, NBC, fought all of them at the time.
He was calling the races when I was growing up.
Yeah, TNT.
Was hilarious.
Was he good?
One of the best.
Okay.
Absolutely one of the best.
Let's go. That's really cool to know. But so he finished up, but he's a champion. I think he ended with 48 wins in the Cup Series. So he stacked them up after, or just over the years. I don't think he ever had over like a 4-win season.
Right.
But he raced for
plugged away
35 years.
Golly.
So yeah, wild.
That is wild.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore.
No, you don't.
You do not see that anymore.
But
well, that's a good one. I like yours a lot better than mine.
Just this Folgers car and just knowing Tim Richmond.
I'm kind of in love with this car, to be honest.
The green one's kind of cooler.
I like that green.
Honestly. I would love a good forest green car in the Cup Series now.
Yeah, we don't have them.
We don't.
So, I know there's like some superstition about green cars too.
Is there really?
Like green cars are number 13. You don't eat peanuts before a race. You don't have a $50 bill in your pocket. Like weird stuff like that. The green cars I can see a lot more than the peanuts.
Yeah,
those are like racing superstitions. You don't eat peanuts and you don't have a $50 bill.
Okay. I'm glad we know that now.
Yeah, don't ask me why.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, episode 35. So the Todd Bodine, Benny Parsons edition. Right into our overview. So we thought this would be a good week to go into short track. So I think we've done super speedways. I think we've even done intermediates, maybe. I
don't know if we did mile and a halfs either.
No, but I know you wanted to, but I was.
We talked about them.
But we'll do short tracks instead. So kind of by definition, and I feel like there's really no definition of it. It depends on who you talk to, but if you look it up, it says anything a mile or less.
Okay.
I always thought it was like 3/4 mile, and I thought even that was a stretch because really I thought short track was like half mile and under.
Yeah.
But I guess now we go to like Loudon, they consider that a short track package, all that stuff. So a mile or less, we're
Nashville is a weird one because it's like 1.3.
Yeah, I think it's considered an intermediate.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but that would fall technically under your definition, under 1.5 mile.
No,
would
under
be,
1 mile.
I know, yeah. But I'm saying, to me, I'm like you, anything under 1.5 mile should be a short track.
Yeah, no, I think anything under like 0.75.
Oh, okay, I misheard you then.
Yeah,
okay.
I think a mile is not really a short track.
It is long.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it is weird.
It just feels like an arbitrary word.
It
is,
to be honest.
Yeah. But so kind of why do we have them? I mean, this is just what tracks were back in the day. We always had Indy.
Yeah.
That was always been 2.5 miles long, but really I think it comes down to cost and just ease of building a track, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of our tracks, in the South were dirt to begin with. You're not going to build a 1 mile long dirt track because you got to prep it, you got to work it, all that. Even dirt tracks today, I think there might be a couple mile long dirt tracks. Eldora's half mile.
Half mile, okay.
Yeah. So you like when you're watching dirt races and they go to a half mile, that's
a big one.
That's a big one for them.
Yeah.
Then you got your.
Because they're normally like less than a quarter. Ain't they?
Quarter's like pretty small for them. They're somewhere like 3. You see 3/8 a lot. So like right under there.
Okay.
But half mile is usually pretty big. That's when they start saying like this is like our super speedway.
Okay.
Just for example, like when they put dirt on Bristol.
Yeah. And
the sprint cars ran, there was drivers that said like you could feel the draft.
Whoa.
So like they would get behind a guy and the RPMs would go up because they were in that wake.
Wow.
And that's a half mile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I think it's obviously that's where you said it earlier before the podcast. Like this is where all these guys start is on short tracks. That's what we have around here. Feasibility of like building a car that can race.
Yes.
A short track, right?
A dude that gets off of work at 3:00 after working all day.
Yeah.
Has built his car all day. That's what he's going to go race at these short tracks.
Yeah, you're not going to have any local racing at 2.5 mile Daytona.
No,
because nobody's tuning an engine to go to. It's not feasible, right?
Everyone's going to blow it up.
Right, everybody's going to blow it up. So back in the day, we had short tracks pretty much predominantly. I remember listening to an interview with Richard Petty. He said when they built Darlington, which was a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
and that track is 1.332.
Yeah, it's close. It's
close
really,
to a mile and a half. Close to short track. He said they went there and they're like, we couldn't believe how big it was.
Wow.
So that was the culture back then, is like all these short tracks. They were just tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so as we leave those tracks behind, they become the local racing, and that's why everybody comes up on short tracks, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day, it was really momentum based because we gripe about horsepower now. I mean, they didn't have even when they were tuning these engines out.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing.
They didn't have the horsepower we have now.
No.
So really momentum-based racing. Then we move up to when we had Cup cars with 900 horsepower. There's stories of them going to Martinsville and like they're coming out at every turn and they're modulating the throttle on the straightaway at Martinsville. To not buzz the tires.
Whoa.
Because if you matted it, you're buzzing the tires spinning all the way down the straightaways.
Wow.
Because you had so much power. So I think both kinds of racing are really good. We'll get into why it's not so good now. But like let's before we talk about how they are now, like what's your opinion of short tracks, whether it's Cup racing or local?
If you haven't been to your local short track, I know there's probably one, especially if you're here in the southeast with us. There's one within an hour distance. Yeah. Go see one. Dirt, asphalt. You will see some things that you'd never believe that you would see, but to me, they're super fun. Like, I mean, we've been to Bulls Gap, we've been to 411, Smoky Mountain Speedway. Again, all those are dirt tracks around here, but I don't know.
We've got, there's a concrete track in Kingsport.
Okay.
That's really high banked.
Yeah.
And I think it's a half mile, or it's similar to Bristol size. And then we've got a Newport Speedway, which is like kind of an iconic track.
Yeah, but that one's shut down, ain't it?
They closed it down.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it. They were actually going to open it this year and run a race on July 13th. Mm-hmm. The only reason I know that's because of my birthday, but we were planning on going, and they just couldn't get it done in time.
Wow! So they canceled it.
They canceled it, but that's really the only ones close to us that I even know of.
Yeah.
Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, no, I've been to that one.
One of the most iconic,
dude,
in the country, really.
So good.
So good.
Like, when you go to these old tracks, too, that's how fans used to watch stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, you're like walking into like a high school type of a Friday Night Lights type of event. You're there to see night racing. They're so fun. The racing's normally really good. You'll see people wreck. If you want to see wrecks, that's where you need to go, to your local short track.
Yeah.
Do not come on Sundays expecting wrecks sometimes. If you want to see wrecks, go to your local short track. Yeah, you can pay $20, sit anywhere you want, bring you some extra cash for concessions, maybe even throw you on a T-shirt from the track. But they're fun.
You talk about talent disparity.
Yes.
I mean, that's like you said, it's literally somebody getting off work, and then you got kids that have never worked and they're coming up through the ranks, right?
Yeah.
So you see a little bit of everything. And so I think that's kind of why it's the backbone of NASCAR.
Yes.
We talked about that history of that's what we had. We've seen them stick around. We've seen some leave.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We finally went back to Wilkesboro, short track there, but kind of want to get to where short track racing is now. So as you started watching kind of 2017, 18, somewhere around there. So you saw kind of the tail end of high horsepower into a little bit lower horsepower into what we have now. So kind of what's your opinion on the current state of short track racing?
I definitely see I think the biggest problem now with the next gen car would be the aero package. They're so aero dependent that when you go to short tracks, to me the horsepower kind of makes the race. And when you lower the horsepower, these cars they just can't pass. No, we've beat this drum in. They just can't pass, and we know this. But I think the problem with some of our short tracks are they don't have that, and I think we talked about it for the first time last week, the progressive banking. Mm-hmm. And you can't have that at a place like Martinsville, of course, but on some of these other ones, that's what gives you these two different lines. And I think if we kind of went to maybe more of that style of short track, we wouldn't worry about what horsepower we have in the car. I think as fans, we just want to see more lines, more racing lines. More options. Yep. Because when you get to a Martinsville or a New Hampshire, I think, Loudon, you talked about, they're just flat. There's kind of only one line that you can run, really.
Yeah, and this car's not good on flat tracks.
It's not. And when you need track position, I don't want to see a track position race. I think that's the biggest problem. And I don't think that horsepower necessarily on these would fix that issue. I don't. No. I think they would find a way, like you just talked about, of finding a way to just tap on the throttle so they're not spinning and they're still just running one line. I don't know.
Well, I think it's funny you say that because there's probably some people, like some old school fans listening to this that think we're crazy. Because I agree with you. I love multiple line racing. You know what? Before they changed Bristol, and there's a lot of people, I travel a lot for work. I know a lot of people in that Tri-Cities area. That track used to be what the Tri-Cities was about. That was their Super Bowl twice a year.
Yes.
Right?
They packed that 160,000 seat place
every time. I mean, that's why they built it so big.
Yeah.
So Bristol used to be one lane.
Wow.
So the only way you could pass somebody at Bristol was they called
bumping
it
them.
Root and gouge. So you'd go around there, you'd move somebody out of the way, and
you'd slide them up pretty much.
Yeah, you'd bump them, get them out of the way. Now that's another thing with this car is you can't. It's got so much grip, you can't really bump somebody.
No.
You got to Austin Dillon them into the corner.
Yes,
right?
you do.
So that's a problem, but I still, there's people that are like, they ruined Bristol. They should have never made it progressive. I think it's really compelling to see someone like Kyle Larson running the boards and then an old school racer like Truex trying to run the bottom or the middle. It gives them options. I think one thing that is really big, a lot of these, not Bristol, but where we're going this weekend, is the shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times well, really all the time, but at Martinsville, the big thing there was when you go into the corner, if you miss that corner, you would wheel hop. We can't wheel hop in this car because of the independent suspension. But also, if you miss the corner, you lost all your momentum.
Yeah.
Right? You'd be up out of the groove, you get past. Well, now you can run that car as hard as you want, within, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you can run that car in really, really hard. And then when you start losing momentum, downshift.
Yeah.
And then those RPMs pick right back up.
Yeah.
So they're shifting twice a lap at Martinsville. They're going to run, I can't remember if it's 400 or
500.
Is it 500?
I believe it's 500.
So 500 lap race.
Yeah.
They're going to shift 1,000 times.
Yeah. That's not counting pit stops. That's just green flags.
That's just green flag.
Yeah.
So it's really hard not only to race when you got one hand off the steering wheel, but you can't make up any ground because somebody can go in there and absolutely botch the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of losing that momentum, they can downshift and those RPMs pick them right back up.
Yeah, you may get to their side, but if they have, and you say you go to the outside in that corner, you're not where you want to be heading into turns 3 and 4 right there. You want to be on the inside.
And you can make the outside of Martinsville work. Because what you can do...
Ask Ross Chastain. He made it work.
Well, that's outside the ballpark.
Okay.
But I don't know if you remember 2018 when Joey won Martinsville.
Yes.
And him and Truex race. What a lot of people forget about that race is they raced side by side for like 20, 30
They did,
laps.
yeah.
And what Joey would do is, Truex obviously had the preferred line, but he would pinch off his
exit, yeah.
Right? So Truex couldn't open that steering wheel up and get that run, so he didn't have that speed.
Yeah.
And they just did that over and over and over. It was really compelling, really good racing until the last lap, and Joey's like, you know what? I've tried all I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let off the throttle. I'm going to get behind you. Yeah. And he didn't wreck him.
No.
He did not wreck him.
No, we didn't.
I have no problem with what Joey did in that race. Bumped him out of the way. Truex came back down on the straightaway and tried to run into him.
Yeah.
And they beat him bang to the finish. So we're not going to we can't get that in this car.
Not anymore. No.
Not anymore. So I think that's it sucks because we in the old car, mile and a halves were pretty terrible.
Yes. Right.
And I think one of your questions, and I'm sorry if I'm talking all over you, but one question you said before was why
did we leave?
Why did we leave, right?
Yeah.
So as the sport grew, it was like, oh, okay, not only speed, more places we can pack fans. Like not every short track's Bristol, right?
No.
I mean, I went to North Wilkesboro.
30,000?
30,000.
Yeah.
Like max.
Yeah.
Right?
They probably put 50 in there, and they were breaking every fire code known to man.
Yeah. Like, if something happened, we were all dead.
Yeah.
But so we go to mile and a half. We go to the tri-oval mile and a half. I know we're on the short track over. You know why the tri-oval is on all these mile and a halves?
No, it's a good question. I've always wondered that though.
So if you have a seat on the front stretch of a mile and a half with a tri-oval, no matter where you're at, you can see the whole front stretch.
That's why they did that?
That's why they did that.
Dude. When they took it out, I mean, we're going to get to that in Miami, but oh my gosh.
It's never had one.
No.
It's never had one.
It's so much better. Like when you really realize what you're watching, you're like, okay, it's like an actual oval. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they put the tri-oval in, so when you're there, you can see the. And if you think about that, like you've
it makes sense. I mean, I see it in Nashville. That's the reason we can sit either towards the front stretch or towards the back stretch, and we don't have to be right there where the ticket prices are $4,000 more, because you can kind of still see the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's the only reason they're there. I forget my point with that. But, so we got all these mile and a halves. Well, then the mile and a halves are terrible, right?
Yes.
So they start taking those off. And then I feel like we went to more road courses. Now we have picked up Wilkesboro. We picked up Gateway. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. Is Gateway
Iowa? We picked up Iowa.
We picked up Iowa. That's a good one too. So
that's a really good one.
That's a really, really good one. Yeah. Really good one. What I'm afraid of, and this has been beat to death on every other podcast, so we won't touch on it too much, but if the short track racing continues to be not great, which I won't say it's like terrible, but it's definitely not good. It's not great, right? No. I'm really, and it's specific to tracks like Martinsville is terrible.
Yes.
It's really terrible. Bristol is Bristol. They're not shifting at Bristol. I think we're not really seeing too much different of a product there than we were before. But you worry that NASCAR doesn't want to change this car, and instead they'll just start taking short tracks off.
I know.
And then we'll get away from those routes. I think the big thing, to me, what I think is cool is going to a place like Wilkesboro now, where not only does Cup run there, but local series like the Cards Tour and also local series run.
Yeah.
So it's like you can go there and be like, man, this is cool. I'm watching the everyday man. And then it's like, oh, now the big guys are going to come in here. Right. And
I mean, and we, not to cut you off, but we get a taste of that of when we go to a 411 or a Bulls Gap. When the Lucas Oil guys come in, you're like,
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Dude, when they get there, you're like, we're seeing some racing tonight. Yeah.
And that's exactly how, because we went to Smoky Mountain for Lucas Oil, and it's like, you watch the local guys, and you're like, that's cool. This is every week. Mm-hmm. And then it's like,
and they're beating and banging, they're wrecking everywhere. Yeah. And then, but everyone knows when it's that time to get up and get loud for those late models when they come out.
The guys that are touring.
Yes.
It's a national series. I went to a race this year at Bulls Gap for a big, it wasn't Lucas Oil, but it was the XR Super Series. But what those guys do is they try to plan races on off weeks. Mm-hmm. So like Lucas guys were there, Outlaw guys were there, and it was $50,000 to win.
Oh, that's a big money race.
Right before their A main was like a 5,000 to win modified race.
Yeah.
Of local guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like that gives it more, it bridges that gap.
It does, because then those guys feel like, hey, I can get to that maybe, you know?
And then you've got the fans there. And I guess the only reason I say that is I feel like there's such a disconnect between short track fans, whether it's dirt or asphalt, and then it's almost like if you're a fan of that, you're too cool for NASCAR.
100%. Right?
And
yes.
if you're a strictly NASCAR fan, the local stuff doesn't even cross your mind.
No.
Right? So if you can get Nashville Fairgrounds, right? There's people that are religious Nashville Fairgrounds.
They'll be there no matter what's on. They could race go-kart. They could have people run on the track and they'd show up.
Yeah. And then if you give back to someone like that maybe has wrote off NASCAR.
Yes.
And you say, hey, now we're going to bring the Cup Series to your local track. All of a sudden, NASCAR's they're not too high and mighty for NASCAR anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's how you bridge that gap, I think.
It's also cool because when you go to these local tracks, you can go into the pits, but you don't have to have a pass. You just have to pay $10 more.
Yeah.
And you can go and see what these guys are doing. Like every time I've been to Nashville, I've only went to the pits.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've watched races I watched the race in the grandstands, but you go down in the pits and you see these guys working on their cars, doing everything that they're doing. The coolest thing ever.
It's very cool.
It is
very
the
cool.
Coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
So
and it only gives you more interest for the overall sport of racing.
100%.
So, all right, last thing. Should we accept short track racing of how it is now? Or did you have any more questions before I asked you?
No, I mean, I think you're kind of getting at what I circled as my last one, which was, is it the best racing that we see all year?
Yeah.
You know, to get on your point, kind of what you were talking about, I never think we should get complacent in really anything. Mm-hmm. I always think we should be trying new things, trying to stay ahead of the curve, seeing what works and what doesn't work. That's why I think the All-Star race is really cool, that we kind of use it as a science experiment. But that doesn't mean just because we throw it on an All-Star race that we should use it. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely down to try things. I think as the way our sport is, if you're not trying something new at some point, you're kind of getting complacent. You know, you get tired of some. Football is not the exact same that it's always been. Right. All these other sports are changing. I mean, I don't know if you've watched any college basketball, but they finally went to 4 quarters in college basketball in the men's side. The women's have been there for a bit, and now they went to 4 quarters in men's. So instead of two halves, and 4 quarters is like that in the NBA. I mean, it's kind of like everything. So to me, you just keep trying new things, and to me, the attention should be on short tracks and trying to eliminate shifting or see what we can do with different race lines, something more compelling, tires, and we've seen that work tremendously, and we've seen it be non-existent.
Yeah.
So I applaud them as much as I gave them such a hard time about the no tire wear at Bristol. Keep trying. Keep doing whatever you have to do to make it the best racing, because to me, it is the best racing.
Yeah.
No matter what we see, that is the most fun.
It's the backbone, right?
It's the backbone. Yeah. When you go, and I'm going to use JD as an example, so I hope he's listening. He used to be just a super speedway guy. And literally over last year and this year coming around, he's like, dude, these short tracks are fun. And they are, because they are. There's something about a short track that if you sit down and watch it, lap times mean something. There's no fuel strategy. It's more driver based. Yes. No, but you can't sneak around how much the driver matters at these short tracks.
And that's what
you can't hide it either.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see the best guys in the best cars race around there. And I still think it's the best racing. It's gotten worse, and it's going to be tough because the mile and a halves are so good right now. But I mean, I'm always game to add another mile and a half. Like, I think Chicagoland should come back. I know it's kind of off topic, but I just also don't think we should give up on Gateway, Iowa, all these other ones that we've added here, and just keep working on the package. Whatever it is. If it's not horsepower, that's fine. You don't want to go that route. There's so many other things you could do.
Yeah, and that's kind of, if you're good with it, I'm going to end on that.
Yes, go.
So, you know me, I like to just throw solutions out there. So, I don't think this is crazy. If you go back to 2007, we switched to the carb tomorrow, and we did a slow transition. So, I think it was short tracks and certain other tracks, maybe road courses, they ran the car tomorrow. Everything else they ran the old car,
Okay.
like the Gen 4 car.
Yeah.
So
big spoiler on the car tomorrow.
Completely different.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I was just trying to picture the car tomorrow.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
But two different cars, completely
different.
Yeah, you cannot miss this spoiler on the back. If you haven't seen the car tomorrow, it is massive.
Yeah, it's
like a Toyota Supra with a dude that's got a 9-foot spoiler on the back of it.
You're exactly right.
Okay,
so I bring that up to say it's not crazy to have different packages. We go back to like 19 through 21, where we had a different horsepower package for short tracks and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So my solution, I know NASCAR is not going to mess with horsepower. I haven't given up on that battle, but I'm going to accept it.
Yes.
And this is my compromise with them, right? So we already have this short track package where we take this back diffuser off.
Yeah.
I think that helps a little bit, but not
enough.
Not enough, right?
No.
So my idea is we have a short track package where we bring a different tire. And by different tire, I mean different wheel.
Yeah.
So we have a completely different wheel that Goodyear makes, and whoever's making these rims.
Slim them up,
right? Change your offset to where the wheel's still flush.
Mm-hmm.
And all that is offset, right?
Yeah. So
instead of slimming it up all around, you slim it up on the inside.
Yes.
So it still comes in, bolts up the same way. All right. That's number one. Okay. Number two, after that, I just had it. So we slim the tire up. Oh, the gearing, right?
Yes.
We shift, right?
Yeah.
So we have a different set of fixed gears that we put in that transaxle. I'm no transaxle expert. I know it's not a quick change rear end in a 410 sprint car, but you can throw different gears.
Yes.
In this, right?
100%.
Even if you put a taller fourth gear in and you lock out fifth gear.
Yeah.
Right? And you make it a 4-speed like it was, put your overdrive gear in there and just keep them to where the problem is now, if they kept it, I think at Martinsville they don't even go into fifth.
No.
They definitely don't, because Ross grabbed fifth, right?
Yeah, for the first time all day. Anybody. Yeah.
So they're going 3-4, 3-4. So you got to mess with that gearing to where they don't bog it and to where they don't over rev it. Right.
Which I think would take one weekend with 6 engineers and a 12-pack. Yeah,
all I'm telling you, I did 2 years in engineering school, and I know there's an equation for that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I can't.
AutoCAD will fix that right up.
I'm just telling you, that's an equation I could do.
Yeah.
That's not the equation that made me quit. That's an equation I can do.
Yeah.
Gearing to the transaxle to the gear ratio. It's very easy. I think why NASCAR doesn't want to do that is because that transaxle, everything about this car is designed with the future of hybrid technology.
Of course.
Right? So they don't, which is, we're cool with hybrid, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right. As long as that hybrid, if we're throwing it electric under yellow, whatever, maybe that even takes our fuel mileage out.
Yeah.
Not a terrible thing.
Not at all.
Joe Gunner never wins another championship.
Yeah, pretty much.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But, I don't think they want to crack open that transaxle because they have future plans for it. I think that's what's preventing them from doing that. But and the other point of that is we've done all this work for new manufacturers to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It hasn't worked.
Yeah, it hasn't.
It's been 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. So if we got to crack this transaxle open and put different gears in it to save what we have now.
Yes.
To even think about a future of manufacturers. Let's do it.
I'm with you.
So skinnier tires, different gearing, lock out fifth gear, or don't even have a fifth gear.
Yeah.
Right? I think that would do something. If you want to keep horsepower the same, that would do something.
I do. Again, try it. That's all I want to see. Why not? Why not?
And I know we went super long on this, but it's something we're both passionate about.
Yes.
But I think the problem here is that NASCAR has forced these teams to spend so much money on this car that when they say, even if they were to agree with me, which I don't think they do, they would bring this to the teams and they'd be like, so now we got to spend more money?
Yeah.
Right? And this all goes back to every other overview we've done of NASCAR putting these teams in that position at the expense of two people sitting here trying to make a podcast about it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll end it.
There we go.
So
that's good. I hope you enjoyed the short track overview.
Yeah. We're about an hour 20 in.
That's good. 40 minutes.
Yeah. We'll speed through the rest. So Homestead recap. Really, I've only got one thing, and we'll get to it in standouts that I'm excited to argue, hopefully.
Okay.
Was it a good race? What's your rating?
I gave it a 9.3.
Oh. No, I'm right there with you.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? That race was amazing.
I know. I was going to say 9.5, but tell me what you thought. What your overall experience of watching it?
Yeah, it was incredible.
We were at my house. So
I was at your house.
It was already great.
It was so much fun, man. We had a great time. He didn't cook us any food that he promised, but
big TV.
Massive. I'll give you massive. Yeah, it was a good sized TV, clear picture. We did have a little bit of at the start. Your streaming thing didn't want to work right, but it is what it is. And enjoy the race, stage 1 and 2, amazing. And to me, that was the perfect buildup. We didn't get. Yes, we got a stupid caution, but somehow this one played into the storylines perfectly. And again, I there's something about there not being a caution with like 2 to go, but with like what was there, 8, 12, something like that.
Maybe 13.
13?
Maybe 13.
Yeah, 12 or 13, something like that. That was the caution, and there was so many storylines at play when this happened, and oh my gosh, it just added to what we saw on the last 10 laps, which was honestly should be replayed every year for NASCAR.
I know.
With Tyler Reddick sending it and somehow making it stick. My only question that I have for you is, he sends it in there that hard. We hadn't seen anyone do that really all day. How does he know is it going to stick? Does he know, or is he just guessing? He doesn't care.
No, I think that's the dirt racer in him, and I think, in my opinion, that's you see Larson obviously.
Yeah.
You see Briscoe make these moves a lot. You see Seabell. I feel like he's a little more timid, but Seabell will go for it. But there's something in these dirt racers' minds. Like, these dirt guys they're just different, right? I don't think Tyler Reddick did anything different than what Kyle Larson tried to do.
Yeah.
When he wrecked himself. I don't think Tyler Reddick did anything different than he did last week when he wrecked himself and others.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like you play the odds.
Yeah. So it worked out perfectly.
It worked out perfectly.
And Kyle Larson's move probably would have worked if Austin Dillon wasn't there.
Yeah, but I don't know. And we'll get into that.
Okay.
Not to cut. I mean,
no. 9.3. 9.3.
9.3. Okay.
9.3.
I'm like a 9.4, 9.5, somewhere around there. I thought the strategy, like you said, was really cool. So, and some people might discredit it and say, well, he had that strategy, right? They pitted, they got lucky, they caught a caution.
Yeah.
Okay. Props to his crew chief, but then it's up to Tyler Reddick.
Oh, yeah.
To do that. You know what I mean?
I mean, he had 2-lap older tires, and we saw early in the race when Joey did that, Kyle Busch did that, and I think there was another one that tried to do that, and instantly, like
put the anchor out.
Oh, yeah. They were going in slow motion now.
So my only complaint would be, Tyler Reddick was on that strategy, run long. He was hoping for a caution. They didn't get it, so they went ahead and pitted, right?
Yes.
And I feel like he only did that because he was kind of in a must-win situation.
100%.
Right. Why did no one else do that?
Yeah.
And I feel like the other guys in the playoffs are, he's the only one ballsy enough to do that. Because he's pretty much in a must-win. And then everybody else doesn't want to play spoiler to the storyline. So I feel like without this storyline, or without this format, maybe we have more people do it. It's weird to me. Out of all the cars on the track, he's the only one that did it. Like, when you think about it, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I mean, it is weird that he is the only one to try it, but at the same time, he's also like the only one that could. There's only 3 other guys that I think could pull it off.
Tire advantage is a tire advantage, though.
100%.
I mean, if you're, let's say, take the format out, right?
Okay.
And we're just trying to win. Denny Hamlin could definitely have done that because he's one of the best at saving tires.
Yes.
But he's not going to take that risk because he's trying to get into the next round.
Yeah.
You can't take that risk unless you're Tyler Reddick, basically in a must-win situation.
Denny's still kind of, I mean, I guess he
is now.
Yeah, but
he came in above the cut line. Did he not? Or like 7 points or something?
He was 7 points below because Larson was 7 points above. But now we've had 2 guys below the cut line win. So it just shortens that up. Now.
Now Denny will do something crazy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I guess I kind of see where you're coming from, because even if Blaney wins that race, he's below the cut line. He was right. Joey was in 8th, and I think it was either him or Chase that was 6th and 7th.
Right.
Something like that.
But let's say Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
Right? Ran up there all day, top 10-ish, right around there. Why do you not do that strategy?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Someone that's not in the spoiler tactic. Yeah. I get the spoiler one more.
But they're not going to let, but they don't know this exact scenario, right? But someone like Blake Harris, Alex Bowman's crew chief, is briefed like, hey, don't do anything to hurt
Kyle Larson's chances,
or William Byron, or Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like that's where the form. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just one of those things where Tyler Reddick, they just did something. They were more ballsy than everybody else, but I feel like that format is playing so much into it.
I think Tyler Reddick's just ballsier than everybody. We've seen it. Maybe. We've seen him make ballsy moves.
No, and I'm not saying I'm not talking about his last lap pass. I'm talking about the call in general.
I know.
Out. Yeah. That's not his call.
No, that's not his call, but I also think that they know they needed a win. He's not that good at Martinsville. Right. He's really good here.
But shouldn't they all want to win?
They should.
Why didn't Ross Chastain stay out? He ran 30th all day. I mean, why not do something to win?
I mean, that's a good point. Maybe
they had to lose.
They don't have anything.
But they can't. But they're Team Chevy, right? They can't be.
I think you're putting the tinfoil hat on too hard.
I don't think I am.
I hope not. I mean, I do see where, again, they're giving us something else to talk about that shouldn't be talked about. Everyone racing there, and every time you hear from a driver, that's what they say they want to do is win, no matter what, when they're going to win. But at the same time, I mean, we saw Ross win last year at Phoenix.
No, I know.
Okay.
But they didn't do any crazy strategy to do that. He won it straight up.
Yeah, I know, but maybe I'm saying
these teams are briefed. I think these teams are briefed to not by NASCAR. By at this point, if we're talking about Ross, by Team Chevrolet.
Yes.
Right? Don't be the storyline. Like, even if you're fast, don't do anything to try to win this race when William Byron, Chase, or Larson could win and automatically get in. I think without this format, you have more people trying something like what Tyler Reddick did. I don't think that's crazy to say.
I don't think it's crazy to say, but I think it's out there.
I think it's pretty obvious.
I don't think it's... I don't think it's that obvious.
If you don't have this format, or let's say you had the same exact race, and it's week 4, how many people run long?
More. Yes. More.
That's my whole point.
But...
You just proved my point.
I kind of proved your point, but I also feel...
You exactly proved my point. You exactly proved my point.
But to me, you could go back and do that in any race that you wanted to. Any race. You could go back, yes. You could go back and say, why in the hell did Joey run long at Nashville? Why?
He didn't have anything to lose.
I know.
Right. And we weren't in the playoffs. That's the point I just made about if this race was in the playoffs.
Oh, my God. I just think you could turn that around and say you can run.
Joey didn't run long again?
Because he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
I know he doesn't care.
All right.
I know he doesn't care.
That's another point.
But then again, like, everybody made the same call. So what's wrong with everyone making the same call? Tyler Reddick, again, how do we know he was the last car to pit to play devil's advocate? How in the world, I think if there were 10 other cars on that same exact strategy as Tyler Reddick stayed out that long, they were hoping for a caution. We've seen that countless times.
Yeah, except for this race where Tyler Reddick's the only one.
I understand, but we hadn't seen one. We haven't seen one
what? What do you mean?
And also, we hadn't seen a caution.
Right.
I know.
But Tyler Reddick was the only one staying out hoping for a caution.
I see, yeah.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong about that.
Okay.
But I'm also saying you lose a lot of time.
You do.
You lose a lot of time.
But it's risk versus reward, right? They needed a caution.
Yeah.
They gave up on a caution. They came in and pitted. Then they got the ultimate break.
Yeah.
It was still up to Tyler Reddick to win. I'm not discrediting him winning at all. I'm just saying, why was no one else on his strategy? Why is no one?
Because I just don't think anyone else thought it would work. The same reason why we don't.
Lose? If you rush Chastain, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? The worst case scenario, you're still back there where you were.
Daniel Suarez did that last week. And it worked.
Yeah,
for
now
him.
We're on a cutoff. Now we're closer to a cutoff race.
I don't know. Yes, I see you. You've won me over a little bit
I think the
with this.
Playing into some of these race endings.
Maybe on the cutoff races, but it did not play into last week.
No.
I mean, Joey was on the same strategy Suarez was.
Suarez, yeah.
I mean, more people.
That's a good point.
More people chose that.
So maybe this is just random that Tyler Reddick's the only one.
I'm not going to say random. I wouldn't go that far to say random, but I mean, I just think that we had saw all day that tires meant everything.
They did,
and no one was willing to take that gamble.
Right.
I'm with you. Why wouldn't a Ross? Why wouldn't a
Bowman?
Not just a Bowman.
Anyone.
I'm really thinking of Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
Right. What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
What do you have to lose?
You have nothing to lose.
No, but you're also Team Chevy.
You are.
You're not going to get in the way of Hendrick.
You're right.
Possibly winning.
You're not. They didn't win.
No, but
because they suck.
But they definitely wouldn't win if Carson Hocevar pulls some weird strategy and has a tire advantage.
Yeah, but I mean, again though, Tyler Reddick pitted, did not have a tire advantage anymore.
No,
because when they pitted,
right? Their plan was not that the caution would come out after his pit stop.
It would come out before.
They wanted it before.
Yes.
Then
everyone pits,
and then they'd all have equal tires, right?
Yes.
They got very, very lucky.
Yes.
But then not really lucky. It's actually unlucky. If you listen to their radio, they're like, well,
we have to pit.
We're on old tires. We'll come out for we don't have to pit. We have to stay out.
Yeah.
But we're on a little bit older tires, so it's up to you, Tyler. Mm-hmm. And he got it done. So their strategy didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but they had Tyler Reddick. So Tyler Reddick 100% deserves the win. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, why is he the only one that was running long trying to catch a caution?
Maybe, again, you can also maybe go back to they didn't feel confident enough that he could unlap himself. Tyler did have to unlap himself there.
That was going to be easy, though. They did the math on that.
They did. But then again, say that caution comes out half a lap quicker than ever. Tyler Reddick is now getting the lucky dog. He's restarting in the back no matter what.
Right.
Right.
So they time it to where he comes out with the leaders, and then he's got way.
You say time it.
They have the math. I'm telling you, they have the math of when to pit and where the guys are going to come out.
No. I see what you're saying. How long it would take to unlap him?
Yeah.
It would only take.
It's not a coincidence that when he came out on the track, they were right there.
Blaney and Denny are coming.
Tires,
yes,
he passed them like they were standing still.
I understand that, but imagine he comes out and he hasn't even got to pit road speed yet or track speed yet, and then they throw a caution. He's still a lap down.
Right.
I'm saying they still had to get lucky on that.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, they definitely got lucky.
But you were 100% right on the math. Yeah. They knew that, hey, you got to come now so we can pit and you can get your lap back as quick as possible.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's weird.
It is weird.
I didn't mean that to go so long, but
it did. You wanted to argue.
That's not even what I want to argue about. That's the crazy.
I can't wait.
That's crazy. Let me look at the sheet on what we can cut out. So we can argue. One more thing.
Okay.
We talked about Larson a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit too hard. We'll skip over that because everybody's talking about it. I'm just going to ask you and you only. You're Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
It's the last lap. Why do you leave the top open for a dirt track guy like Tyler Reddick?
I think he felt so confident in the bottom of his car, or at the bottom. I literally think, I watched back a couple laps. He probably sees no way. He was very good on the bottom. Blaney was.
Yeah.
I see no reason to change your line.
What is running the top hurt?
You're right. It doesn't hurt anything but Tyler Reddick. You know, I'm with you. I don't know why he doesn't. I don't know why.
It's wild to me.
It is wild.
It reminded me of Kansas earlier in the year when Chris Buescher gave Kyle Larson the top.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing of when we see SVG make a mistake at Watkins Glen that we never see. It's uncharacteristic. I think when we have the best guys racing at the top, we force the hand a little bit, and it pushes these guys into mistakes that we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I just think it's wild.
I think Blaney, being a one-time champion, just wasn't thinking that. They probably left him alone. You have one lap to go. Tyler Reddick, you've passed Denny. He's probably in his mind like, dude, all I got to do is finish now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's turn 3 and 4.
It's turns 3 and 4. There's no way. Like, it's probably a little bit on the spotter, but a lot of it on Blaney and the crew chief. We're just going to run this line. We got by Denny with it. We passed him because they were running side by side. Yeah, I do believe. Yeah. They were running side by side. Tyler Reddick's on older tires. You're not really thinking that he's going to be that big of a deal. You pass Denny, you're like, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah,
but
physics says there's no way Tyler Reddick can pass you.
100%. Yeah. I mean, so I think that's in his brain, and I think you kind of heard that from his post-race interview. That it's just like, I mean, I thought I did everything right, and it just wasn't enough this time.
I think he said I have no idea how it
exactly, and so I think that at that time, all the data that they had seen, we're in the best spot that we can be. And then Tyler Reddick pulled a hell cheddars or
he didn't even have cheddars.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a monster move, I guess. I don't know.
Hell Jordan.
Yeah. But I think it's and we've said this before too, sometimes you gotta lose some to win some.
Yeah.
And I mean he will never.
No, he will never do that again. If there's anyone that's running the top at Miami, you can guarantee if they're behind Ryan Blaney, Blaney will be in the top line.
And even if he could have entered on that line and just slid up and blocked him, he would have lost speed. But at that point, Tyler Reddick's committed to the top. He's not really in a position to cross him over.
He cannot turn down. No. He is running way too fast to turn down.
And if he does, he's going to lose more speed than Blaney is sliding up.
Yes.
So, I don't know. All right, you ready to move into standouts?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Sorry, this is going to be a long one, I think.
That's fine.
But, all right, Carson Corey. Somehow, Justin Haley. Well, sorry, Carson Corey. Carson ran good all day.
Yeah.
I think You're
welcome.
He won the bet?
I did win.
Okay. So, 24-10. We're still keeping track of that. Justin Haley wrecked at least 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them were his fault, to be honest. I looked back on it.
He got bumped so hard at the beginning of that race.
Yes.
Because we're literally sitting next to each other, and all they show is Justin Haley spun out. We're like, no way, Justin Haley just did that on his own.
Yeah.
And then we go to commercial. Yeah. We're like, we go to commercial. We're talking about it. We're like, no way, Justin Haley just spun on his own. Now we're like coming to grips with it that he's messed up this bad. And then we come back from commercial, and they're like, oh, yeah, he was bumped hard by
I don't think they ever said. I swear they never said.
They maybe never said, but we saw he was hit hard by somebody in the back and just got turned.
The second time he got wrecked, Ty Gibbs wrecked him.
Yes.
And then so he wrecked. I think he wrecked twice. Then Ty Gibbs, him and Corey got into it. Somehow Justin Haley finished one spot better than Corey LaJoy.
Yeah, that's all we need.
So we're 3-2. Justin Haley, Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to Martinsville. I think he should easily get that.
I do too.
And he should get Phoenix. So it should end 5-2.
5-2.
So that's what I'm thinking. All right. One quick thing, and then my last point on standouts that I think will take a while. Denny finally showed some speed. Is it too late?
I do. I think he's not won the fall Martinsville race in forever.
Yeah,
he has. Yeah, he has to win. He's really good at Martinsville. Yeah. Like I'm not putting it past him.
Flag flies.
Apparently, I don't see it. I think everyone else has kind of caught up with him. Kind of what we saw with Chase in the road course car. Mm-hmm. He was that good, but now everyone's just that good there too. Yeah. And he has with the new car, with the tires not meaning as much. Different aero things you can do, shifting, all that short track stuff we talked about takes the driver more out of it. And when you take the the best short track driver. Honestly, you can make an argument Denny is one of the best.
Yeah.
When you take all those elements away from him, dude, he's running mid-pack. And, I mean, I would love to see him get to the Final Four, but, dude, at this point, I don't see it. I don't.
I think he wins at least one stage. I think he finishes second in the race and misses the Final Four. I just see that happening.
Yeah.
All right. Should Homestead be the championship race?
God, after last week. No, still not. No.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it should be. It was an amazing race. That was we haven't had a finish like that at Phoenix, so I'll say that. I don't know. Maybe now I'm changing my answer. No,
don't look at my face.
No, I know. I'm not trying to look at your face. I'm literally just trying to think. I spoke offhand because I was like, no, but Miami used to be. Now Phoenix is. That's the race I want to see for the championship. I want to see that type of race for a championship. So if you could guarantee me that race at Phoenix, then yes. But
you want to see that race for a championship?
That's what I want to see.
Okay. What's your biggest complaint with the format?
That we get to the Final Four and it's a one-off.
Okay. And now you want it to come down to it. So
I'm saying with the
you don't like
no.
Let me say it. You don't like that it comes down to one race, right?
100%, yeah. Okay. But if I have,
you want it to come down to one corner?
Yeah, I'm saying if we do it, hold on. If it has to come down to a race, it's the same thing. You want it to be. I want it to
insane.
Yes.
Well, make it Daytona.
Fair enough. I would not want that though.
But you want it to come down to a pass in turn 4 to decide a championship?
I mean, yeah, when it's that good. I mean, like, Blaney ran up there.
What's your biggest complaint with the format? It comes down to one race.
Yeah, I mean.
But you're okay with it coming down to one corner?
Yeah, I think I am. I don't know. That race was so good. It
was a great race. I think it's the best race of the year.
Yeah, I mean it's up there. We need to go back and check the ratings.
Do you want that decided in a championship? I'm not.
Yeah.
Arguing that. Let me be clear, because I've had this conversation online. I am not arguing that Homestead's not a great race. My point only is that if you don't care about the format, if you think the format as is great, and you say Homestead should be the final race, I think you're very valid in saying that. If you say the format is ridiculous, that we come down to one race to decide a championship, and then you turn around and say, oh, it should be Homestead because Homestead's more exciting, that is hypocritical.
I'm being a little bit hypocritical then, because that race was amazing.
Okay. All right. Let me change something for you.
Oh, God. Yeah, try to change something.
Ryan Blaney's going into turn 3.
Yeah.
Leading the race. He's about to win the championship, if that's not bad enough. Turn 3 and 4 on the high side comes Joey Logano. Last lap pass, wins the championship.
That one would sting a lot more.
Right. So take
Tyler Reddick out of it.
Take the 45 car. Does that change your opinion?
No.
Are you pissed?
I'm going to be angry for a day or two.
Let's say that's the championship race, and Joey Logano passes Ryan Blaney, who shouldn't win the championship either. Let's just say that. Turns 3 and 4, crosses the finish line, does his ridiculous burnouts that are very awesome.
Yeah.
And then gets out and just goes insane. Because if anybody doesn't care about this format, it's Joey Logano.
Yeah.
Because he plays it, right?
Yeah.
Is that better? Is that better than Phoenix, just a straight up boring race where at least there's no chaos? At least there's no advantage? Because here's my other thing about Homestead. You make the championship race at Homestead and you have Tyler Reddick or Kyle Larson in the Final Four. We know they're going to win. We
We don't, though.
Okay.
Hold on.
I could have told you before Homestead started, I would have bet my life savings. If you could give me two people,
Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick.
And Kyle Larson almost took a car that had no business winning and almost won with it. But he's Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
That's that coin toss, right?
I know.
And that's why heads was Kyle Larson wrecking and tails was Tyler Reddick winning.
But we also saw last year, would you have made that same bet last year? Yes, and you would have lost. You would have made that same bet in 20.
It was another dirt guy. My bad.
Who? In 2023, Blaney won that race.
At Homestead?
Yes.
Christopher Bell won that race.
That's right. I'm sorry. Blaney should have won that race.
Well, Kyle Larson should have won that race.
Yeah, well, fair. Okay.
There's an advantage to that track.
There is an advantage to that track, but
for dirt guys.
But at the so you're trying to say that there should be no race advantage at all? Like we need to go to a track
Phoenix.
that no one's great at?
Phoenix.
I mean, Kevin Harvick was a god there.
He was.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is if it's going to come down to one race, which is stupid, make it the most boring, straight-up race to have one little shred of legitimacy.
No.
So
no. I'm not with you. I'm not with you anymore.
So
I'm not with you anymore.
If you are mad about it coming down to one race,
I am mad about that.
Okay, but you want it to be Homestead because that's exciting.
Yes.
Then you have no problem with the format.
I have so many problems with the format.
Obviously not.
No, dude. It should come down to multiple races.
That's not the world we live in. That's not the world we live in.
I know.
You want Homestead to be the last race because it was more exciting.
It was.
Because you want to see the championship determined by turn 3 and 4.
I do.
Then you have no problem with the format.
Those two guys still had to get to the championship 4. I'll say that. They still had to get there.
Well, Joey Logano's in the championship.
I understand he's there. He's probably going to win Phoenix.
Once again, let's take Tyler Reddick out of the 45 car.
I know. We've taken him out.
Okay. And you're cool with it.
I'm not. No.
Like, at least it was Homestead.
At least it was Homestead. Yeah.
That's hypocritical.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
If you have a problem with it coming down to one race, which you do.
Yeah.
And I do.
I think we all do.
We all do.
Yeah.
Right? But then you're like, oh, actually, I want it to be exciting. I want to crown a champion on exciting.
So you don't think Tyler Reddick's pass was legitimate?
No, I think it was very legitimate.
Okay, you think if Joey pulls the same move, it's not legitimate?
It's not. That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is the whole format is screwed up, right?
Yes.
So
I've gotten that.
So it doesn't matter what the last race is. That does not make it better. It does not make the whole situation better.
No, it doesn't. But it makes me feel better.
How would that make you feel better?
It just does that I got to watch something. The final race until February, I got to watch something exciting.
Okay.
Till the Clash comes around.
Let's say we have full season points, right?
Yes.
And Homestead's the final race of the year. Tyler Reddick does that, and he's not even he's sixth in points, right? He's mathematically not even eligible to win the championship. That same race happens. Does it downplay that race anymore because he didn't win the championship?
No.
Exactly. Now, if he does win the championship based off a last lap pass, I think that makes it even more silly. That's ridiculous.
What are you talking about? You act like we haven't seen guys when they know they have to win a race do something crazy.
Everyone should try to win every race anyway.
I understand that, but you're saying, okay, now he can win a championship. He's going to race harder.
He is racing the same amount of hardness every week. Yeah. They all are.
Yes.
We're manufacturing drama that's already there. If you hate it coming down to one race, you hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yes.
We all hate it.
Yes.
But now suddenly you want to see the championship decided at Homestead?
Yes.
That's insane.
What? How?
How does that make it better?
Because it's a legit race. It's a legit race.
How's Phoenix not a legit race just because you think it's boring?
No. Fair. Good point. Good point. I just think that I say it's boring. You have the dog leg that you can cut,
you have restarts that are insane.
You do. You have the 9 wide that you can go racing to turns 1 and 2. Really cool. I'm just saying that the package that we've talked about doesn't play to that race very well, and I don't know why, but the Homestead, these mile and a half seem to be doing really good.
I think I don't know. I'm not saying there's not holes in my argument. All I'm saying is Homestead's a great race, no matter where you put it. I don't need that to be the championship race that I already think is ridiculous for me to feel amazing about. Like all these people that are.
I know. Okay, maybe you're misunderstanding me. I'm still gonna hate the format.
Right.
But if I had to. Yes, I guess. Yeah, I'm playing into it.
There's no difference for you of it being this last week compared to the final race. Then, if you feel the same.
No, one more time.
If you feel the same about that being a good race, whether it was last week or the championship race, why do you want it to be the championship race?
Because it's an exciting race,
regardless of where it's at on the schedule.
Yeah, I want more exciting races on the schedule.
That we have one race at Homestead.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what. Okay. So whether that's the first race out of the gate or the championship race, you feel the same about that race no matter what.
No. Okay, no. I mean, yes, I do. Yeah.
So why does it need to be the championship race? How does that make it better? I
don't think it makes it better, but I don't think it makes it worse. That's my argument. You're trying to say it makes it worse.
I'm not saying it makes it worse. I'm saying it doesn't fix a damn thing.
I wouldn't move it to fix a damn thing. I would move it because it's exciting, not because it fixes anything.
So you'd rather be okay. So I guess your point is you want to end the season on an excited high note.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't like the format anyway.
Right.
So like you said, let's try to do something that's not a super speedway.
Right.
Anything below a super speedway, who cares now? Who cares? Okay. That's my point.
Okay.
Who cares? Because anything can happen. But then again, hold on. I said that. I misspoke. You still have to have the talent. You still have to have the talent
every week, buddy.
No, I don't think. No, I don't think you have to have the talent every week. You have to have fuel lines as long as Joey Logano does.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay,
that's a great point.
Yeah,
right.
Not every week you have to be the best car and the best driver out there. I do feel like at Homestead you have to have a really good car and you have to be one of the best drivers because you just said you would flip a coin who would win that race. Tyler Reddick and Kyle Larson. Honestly, if any two deserve the championship this year, it's one of those two.
Yes.
This year, one of those two who deserve it. To me, if it's the championship race, Kyle Larson still has to. Yes, the final race can be Homestead, and him and Tyler Reddick can have the biggest advantage over every single driver at that track, but they still have to win something to get there. I mean, Kyle Larson now is below the cut line.
Which is insane.
It is. It is insane, but at the same time, who's to say that you go to Phoenix? I don't think he's that. I don't know how good he is at Phoenix.
I mean, he won it in 21.
He did win it in 21, but is that just because he won at Miami that year? And
he did not win at Miami that year.
He didn't?
He won at
Vegas. Yeah, he won at Vegas. He pulled a Joey. You take 2 weeks off. You're just preparing for Phoenix. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but you know what I mean. You get a bye. You get 2 bye weeks to prepare this car.
But here's my thing. I feel like Phoenix, no one has an advantage. I don't. Where we can sit there and say who's good at Homestead. We knew going into Homestead who was going to be good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say Denny Hamlin wins 10 races this year.
Mm-hmm.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah.
In our magical world, Homestead is now the championship race.
Yeah.
Like you so desire it to be.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin wins 10 races. Kyle Larson limps into the Final Four and dominates Homestead like we know he can. He had an advantage of that track, right?
Yeah, he had an advantage of that track. So I'm with you. Get better at Phoenix. I don't know. Get better at Miami. Tell Denny to get better at Miami.
I just don't. I don't think.
What do you mean? What is?
Anything.
How is?
I don't think it solves anything moving Homestead to the final race.
I don't think it solves anything either. But I'm just saying, at least you're not sour about it that you had to watch Joey dominate a Phoenix race. Like once stage 2 happens at Phoenix, we probably know who's going to win. You know, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless they throw a ghost caution somehow. Can I have another beer? You're ticking me off.
I don't know. It just really ticks me off when I see the same people that say they hate the format coming down to one race say, oh my God, everything would be better if we moved it to Homestead. That's not solving the problem.
Okay, I'm with you. It doesn't solve the problem at all. That's not the point I was trying to make.
It's like a false high.
I'll give you a false high. Yeah, it like numbs the pain of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like an injection of morphine.
If your favorite person wins.
Exactly. But at the same time, some of my favorite people are really good there. So
I think if you make the final race Homestead, because we've seen this before, you have people that don't try.
Yeah.
And we don't see people ripping. If Tyler Reddick's not in the final four and that race comes down, and it's at Homestead, I don't think he does that.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're not solving the issue.
No, we're not solving the issue.
The issue is the format.
We can agree on that. Okay. The issue is the format.
I feel like you actually agree with me. You just don't want to.
No, I don't. I'm fine with them moving the race to Miami for the championship race. I'm not agreeing with you on that.
You hate it coming down to one race, but it would make it better if it came down to one corner.
Yeah, because it's cooler. Yeah, no, I'm on that train right there. So that was cool.
I have no problem with the format, is what that tells me.
No,
that's doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
that doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Oh God, I don't know where to go.
Home. That's where you need to go.
Martinsville Predictions.
Yeah.
All right. So I've heard that there's a possible new tire coming that could help this race.
I've heard that too.
Do you believe it?
No. Dude, because you know what? I saw that nice, pretty lure out there for that Bristol race, son. I saw it.
Which was the same tire.
Same tire. I bid on that thing, son. Yeah. I bid on it hard. They drug me in there. And
you were in the boat.
I was in the boat, and they filleted me up, and it was not fun. It was not fun. I don't believe it. No,
I hope it does. I mean, obviously we both hope it does, but it's not going to.
Yeah. I'm already preparing myself. That's kind of what it is, and if it surprises me, even better.
So we used to get these exciting moments on this cutoff Martinsville race. We talked about Joey. That it actually wasn't a cutoff that year that happened. 19 was like the Joey and Denny fight. 20 was Harvick trying to wreck Busch.
Yep.
21 was Bowman, who wasn't in the playoffs, accidentally wrecking Denny.
Yep.
22 we had Ross. We just got lucky because of that. We had Next Gen.
Yep.
Right, and he saved the whole race.
He did.
23 terrible.
Yeah.
24. Do we get something? How do you get something? What's it going to have to be?
A Chase, a Blaney doing something. It's going to have to be one of them two, probably.
But I don't think you can move people out of the way anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
You can't ride the wall.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Thank God, because that would be unreal. I think if we get no tire wear, it's going to come down to some crazy strategy pool. You know, maybe you stay out way longer. Maybe you find a way that you're looking at, hey, we have a sixth place car. The only way that we can make up these 5 spots we need here, is to save fuel. And so you have 150 laps in, and you are just, barely moving around there.
Yeah.
And you're pulling a Joey Logano strategy. Now, I'm not saying that's any more compelling, but I'm just saying.
I think what we can hope for is that the tire does wear, and we have that same scenario, but it's tires.
Yeah.
So someone stays out long, green flag pit stops. We see someone have to unlap themselves and then run all the way back around Martinsville
to get them. Yeah.
Which is very similar to fuel strategy, but somehow more compelling.
It's so much more compelling because you can see it. It's the eye test. We can't see the inside of a gas tank. Right. We can't, but we can see lap times.
Or the 2 miles of fuel line.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's in there. It's in there. Somehow it's in there.
So, all right, just let me, exciting moment or not? Yes or no?
Yes, I think we get an exciting moment.
Then I'll say no.
Okay. I say yes.
We're just going to argue all episode.
Yeah.
All right. do we get a spoiler?
No.
No.
It's going to be a playoff guy.
One of the 8.
One of the 8, yeah.
Somebody below the cut line.
Possibly. And I'm kind of leaning that because my bets.
What an answer there.
I know.
Possibly.
I think it's either going to be...
No, we'll move into bets. How about that?
Okay.
Right. We'll just move into bets since
right.
you don't want to give me a straight answer.
Okay.
Let me know how much we're down now.
We're down 0.8 units.
Oh, so that means we won something.
We did.
All right, fill me in.
Okay, we won Reddick top 5, cash money. Yeah, and we had Larson top 3. I mean, it was looking great
and
until...
he Larsoned.
Yeah, and he Larsoned. And then Bowman top 10. Cash money. We got to do something in the offseason to celebrate this guy. We do. Because
what we need to do is go back. I swear we've never missed on a Bowman bet.
We've only missed one time that I know of.
One time?
Okay. And he finished 11th or 12th.
Okay.
Okay. One time that I know of because it hurt. That was the first time. Is literally cash money. So we won 0.3 units. That's how we got down to 0.8. So not bad. And this week, you're not going to like this strategy, but this is kind of where I was going with. And I feel very confident we're not going to get a spoiler. And I just think a lot of the guys that have been consistently good here recently are in the hunt for the championship. And I kind of took out the equation of Joey doesn't care. So throw that out. I mean, he doesn't care.
I agree with you. Yep.
He doesn't care. The only other person that to me you could throw out is Denny. I just don't think he's gonna do it. I don't. Yeah. And you can go back to my points earlier as he's find a way to not have speed here, and everyone's kind of caught up with him on how good he is. Now, if we get a tire wear race, I'm going to look like an idiot. I am. Yeah. But I'm just...
And unfortunately, we don't know right now.
We don't know. Yeah. And so I'm just banking on that we're not going to get it. That's what I'm banking on. Yeah. So we're not going to get it. So I picked 4 dudes to win this race.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 4 different guys that I feel... I think it's going to be one of these 4.
You split all 3 units on 4 guys? Or
No.
Okay.
No, I put... So, half a unit on each guy. So 2 units.
Okay.
Will be there. So Willie B, Blaney, Larson, Seabell to win. Larson because he kind of like has to, not has to, but dude, for confidence for him, dude, he needs to win something. Like he does. To me, Larson excels when he's at like his best, and I think if he limps into the 4 here, he really has no shot. You know what I mean? Like he needs to get some upward momentum. He's literally started at this round of 8, and just fallen the entire time. He hasn't done anything productive. Not to say that his finishes weren't good, or he's raced good races. Bad luck.
2 weeks of bad pit stops.
100%. And so they got to clean that up. To me, this sport has a lot more momentum than people give it credit for. It really does. So he's got to build some momentum. I think this is a great way to start. Win this race. He's fast here. Larson, easy pick. Seabell, granted, he's not quite in a walk-off type of moment, which Seabell loves, but he's close.
Yeah, enough.
He's close enough. He has a bad stage 1, maybe an iffy stage 2, and Denny, Chase, Blaney have great stages there. It tightens that window up to where he's looking at stage 3 like, dude, we have to win. I love taking Seabell and walk-offs. I mean, that's just what he does. That's what he does. So, to me, those are not bad picks. Where you'll probably disagree is with Willie B and Blaney. Blaney has done it here before. Last year, he showed that he has that same type of speed that like he did the year prior at Miami, and then he won this race. So, I'm kind of just going back with that. And Willie B's won this race twice he's won at Martinsville twice, both in the spring. But dude, he knows how to get around here.
And if it's gonna be a boring race,
Willie B always wins.
Always wins
a boring race.
I'm actually not mad about any of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you want to throw me the odds on those?
Willie B's plus 800. Blaney's plus 600. Larson is plus 400, and Seabell is plus 1,000.
I think those are pretty strong.
Yeah.
Those are very strong.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe they're that high.
Yeah. Larson was the lowest one at plus 400, which is about right for about all race winners. Like the lowest you'll see him get, it's around plus 350, plus 400, plus 300. So 2 units there. And then you already know what my last pick's going to be.
Bowman top 10?
Yeah, dude.
He's not great at Martinsville.
He got an 8th place finish there last year.
I know.
He got a 5th place finish in the spring this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was top 10.
He just always is like down on himself about Martinsville, so I'd take that.
I know. I don't know why.
He's won there.
Yeah, he's won there. So
what's those? Are they on
plus
to him?
130?
Okay, so they're not really on to him yet.
No. We're going to ride this train out to next year until he gets fired.
They'll be like, can we do a top 20 on Bowman and Spire?
Yeah, can we? Because it hit. It would hit.
No, I feel good about those. I think those are.
So we're counting on Bowman. We're counting on Bowman, and then
Seabell would be awesome.
Seabell would be.
Yeah.
Dude, plus
take a week off.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
We wouldn't take a week off. We'd hammer somebody.
I think.
But I tried to go a bit safer. But literally the only driver that comes to mind that could win this race is Denny that I left out. To me, that's the only.
And I want him to, but
yeah,
there's no. I feel like there's no way.
I know.
There's no. way.
And if he does it, I will come back here next week and I'll be okay with losing that money.
Yeah, I'll be happy for him.
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Do you think once we get into Phoenix, they play the odds to where you can't bet on the final 4 and make money? Like you can't take this strategy of 4 race winners and make money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but no, I don't think so.
Because that's got to be an easy bet.
No, you said that
thing's only 1 in 10 years. You can't act like this is normal.
I'm just saying. This is how trends start.
That's an anomaly.
Okay.
I bet you.
No, 100%.
I bet you right now. First off, update. Carson Osavar finished top 10.
Yeah, he did.
No blood.
Yep. We're back.
You were back.
I'm back, baby. I love get down and get back. You know.
Take a note of this one because we'll have to follow up on, I guess, in 2 weeks. I bet you $20. $20.
That one of the championship 4 win Phoenix.
Yes.
I want to see who it is.
Why does that matter?
It matters to me.
It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, it does.
Do you want to discuss next week?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
We're tabling that.
We'll table that.
We're tabling
My
that.
My dollar amount's not going to change.
That's fine. I'm not worried about the dollar amount.
You're worried about who it is.
Yes. Okay. I do think that plays a factor. I do.
Not with these guys. I don't think with these guys.
Who was in it last year when Ross won? Denny,
Ryan Blaney, Larson, and Seabell. Seabell blew a rotor.
Yeah, Seabell blew a rotor.
Yep.
We had saw mechanical issues from Seabell literally circulating. Like that was not his first mechanical issue that he had, and he's cleaned that up.
Larson just didn't have the speed. Blaney was the fastest car.
Yes,
Ross wouldn't let him by.
Yeah,
and then Denny was just being Denny, I guess.
Yeah,
Denny wasn't in it.
He got
I know.
Was it Willie B?
It might have been Willie B. Feels right. I'm thinking back to Full Speed.
I know.
Yeah, it was Willie B.
It was?
Yeah, because I remember Jeff saying, we got 2 cars in, and Rick's wife was like, we should have all 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was Willie B.
Because Denny got put out in the round of 8.
Yeah.
That year.
Or he just, yeah. He just didn't make it.
Mm-hmm. Because he's terrible at Martinsville.
He's just, his problem is every time he comes into Martinsville, he has to win.
Yeah.
And then he finishes top 5, and it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It happens to him every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. Okay. All right. Tie it up. We're going to do half unit each. Willie B plus 800.
Yep.
Blaney plus 600. Mm-hmm. Larson plus 400. Seabell plus 1,000.
Yep.
And then old reliable Bowman top 10 plus 130.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to you next week when we're plus money.
That's right.
All right. We'll close this up. I know we went long on y'all, but we have to do Choose Who Zone.
Yes, we do.
It's 6-2. So I don't expect me to get this one. Because it's going to be somebody from 1953 that ran 2 races in his whole career.
I won a lot.
Don't need to look away.
Well, I got to pull it up first.
I really wish you just take my bet now on the $20.
I bet you wish that.
I feel like you're silly not to. I can't believe you want the final race to be at Talladega, though. That's basically what you said.
That is not at all what I said.
Out of our argument, that's what I got.
Oh, my God. Of course.
That's what I got.
Of course, that's what you got.
Our boy Grant Enfinger up here won.
I know. He's won the back past 2 races.
Yeah. He's going to be on the podcast when he wins the championship.
Dude. Dude, have his autograph. I didn't meet him. Cool guy.
If anybody would do it, it would actually be him.
Yep. All right. Choose who's on this week. If you don't know the rules, 3 facts, 2 questions, 3 total guesses. Can trade guesses for questions. First fact. From North Carolina. I love it. I love it. You see that flag? I hope that helps you.
I'm not even going to gripe about it.
Okay.
You do this every time.
2-time Cup champion. That should help.
That kind of helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they give me the year, like 1953.
Highest win percentage of any driver with over 100 starts. Those trophies. Where that's at. You don't need to be thinking about that. We'll think about that later.
I kind of want to know who that is.
That's Jeff Gordon.
Is that Jeff Gordon's house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just from like 1 year, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Highest win percentage of any driver
with over 100 starts. 21.5%. That's pretty high, honestly. So 1 out of 5 races, dude.
1 out of 5 races. So this is got to be old time. 2-time Cup champion. I'm just going to flat out take a guess.
All right.
Is it Lee Petty?
No.
Not Lee Petty.
No. 2 guesses left. You still have 2 questions.
What year did he win his last championship? Am I allowed to ask that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so obscure.
Yeah, you can ask it. This last championship was in 1953.
Is it the fabulous Hudson Hornet, Herb Thomas?
It is. It is.
Is it really?
Yeah. Herb Thomas, baby. Herb Thomas. Good job. 48 NASCAR wins. NASCAR's first 2-time champion and one of the 75 greatest.
That's insane.
That was not a bad one, though.
That was a good one, yeah.
It made you think.
I felt like he would eventually be one.
Yeah, but you just didn't know when.
Because of the Cars movie.
Yeah. You know who gave me that one, though?
Who?
Forrest.
Really?
I asked Forrest today.
Way.
I asked Forrest today. I said, dude, I'm trying to think of choose who's on. First person that comes to mind. And Kevin goes, to Jeff Gordon. And I'm like, Kevin, no. Kevin, I
Question 1, I would guess.
Yeah. Kevin, I can't do Jeff Gordon. And Forrest pulls out his phone. He like clicks a couple things and he goes, Herb Thomas. I said, Herb Thomas. Why does that name sound so familiar? And he goes, the Hudson Hornet. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But go on, man.
I'm sorry I had to get you again.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I can see you dying inside.
I'm not. I just hope you're having fun. I know the Kurt Busch one wasn't that challenging, but literally I hope up until that one and Pat, the other 2 after it have been pretty good.
I'm so mad about Ron Bouchard.
You should have got that one. You should have got that one.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
You should have got Lake Speed, too.
I should have got Lake Speed. That's probably the funniest one.
Yeah, that is the best one. But you definitely should have got it.
The funniest thing about Lake Speed is I went back and watched that one, and when I went, speed racing, what? In your face?
Yeah, I'm
like now that I know,
yeah.
I saw your face, I was like, God, I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
Herb Thomas, the fabulous Hudson Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll close it out, guys. We've been here for a while. Where are you watching this week?
I guess I'm watching at home. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
We got a big football game this weekend. What are you doing? Is he going to be there?
I got to take my buddy Ian to the airport at some point. He flies out at like 6 p.m.
Oh, so he'll definitely be there for the race.
For some of it. I don't know what time it starts.
Is it a night race?
I feel like that race usually ends at like dusk. I'm probably going to be on the way to Tyson McGee.
As the race is ending? Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
So
that sucks.
I'll holler at you. Maybe we'll all watch it at my house then.
Yeah, we definitely should.
I got one little tidbit of information I want to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to a work conference next week in Charlotte, and Tuesday the closing meeting is at the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
That's dope.
And last year when they did it, they did a simulator challenge.
Oh, you gonna win?
I don't know. Well, I was hoping. Obviously, Spencer hasn't been able to iRace.
Yeah, I haven't.
Use this computer for the podcast, but I was hoping to get some practice in, but it ain't.
He's sitting over there collecting dust. It's so sad.
One of the guys I work with grew up racing quarter midgets.
No way.
And he's going with us, so fully expect
to get waxed.
By at least, like, if I finish
second to him,
I feel like that's a win.
That is a win.
Knowing me and my little bit of simulator experience, I'm going to go in there super hot, bust my ass.
Yeah.
And wreck.
We need to tell that story on the podcast one time of how you just different time when you.
I had the fastest lap that day when we did the truck.
Yeah, you did have the fastest lap, but I smoked you.
Well, you don't count.
Oh, I don't count. You were like, "Oh, I'll beat you. I'll beat you."
I was like, I'd
still beat you right now, and I haven't raced in 3 months.
I was like 200ths off.
I haven't raced since we probably officially started doing podcasts here, which was in
like episode 7.
Yeah. So
30 weeks.
Yeah.
You're rusty.
I'd still wax your ass.
The Legend series is glad you're gone.
No, they're missing me. They're missing me. Top 50.
That's what I'm saying.
In the world.
They're glad you're gone. They're like, we would have packed his bags for him.
No. All right, y'all be good, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it, everybody. We'll see y'all.
We'll see you.